guys, and welcome to another one of my little chats. And today I have a very special guest. Now, I normally interview people who make their living with a cue in their hand, but Matthew Necroto's stick of choice is a paintbrush. Let's welcome. Hi, Matthew.
How are you? Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
I've been having nightmares. I've been putting this interview off for so long. I've been trying to learn how to say your name properly. Did I say it properly?
You get closer than most. It's actually really simple. Neck, row, toe, like your toe.
Oh,
Necroto.
Necroto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's
my
no
best.
offense at all. No, trust me, you did better than most.
So look, Mr. Necroto, let's start at the very beginning. How long have you been doing PoolBallArt, as you call it?
PoolBallArt, less than 3 years. If you want to start at the beginning, I went to art school in 1990. I showed up for the interview with the 20 kids in the class, and all these rich kids come out with their big portfolios and examples. And I look around and I unroll my rubber band around my wrap of 10 doodles and I put it out. I had no idea what I was doing. I was a really good doodler. I was really good at doodling the back of the kid's head who sat in front of me in class, or the Pepsi can as it sat on my table. And that's what I would do. I would just see stuff and I would just want to draw it. So I'd just draw it. I was never really trained. I got accepted to school, but I wasn't great at all. And I was just awful. So I kind of left it and then realized how much I wanted it and came back to it a bit. I reapplied after a semester and I worked on the things I needed to work on. And they accepted me and I got into the school. It was in advertising, art, and design, associates. And it got me on my road, but I really only drew for those 2 years. I only drew because I had assignments to draw. It wasn't, like I said, I was a doodler. I wasn't really a practiced artist or the kid who did all that stuff. It was just never, I always had other stuff I was doing. About 4 or 5 years ago, my mother, for Christmas one year, got me an entire set. The paper, it's actually, and this is something, don't feel bad because this happens a lot, and I honestly get honored when I hear it. There's not one drop of paint. That's colored pencil, most of which is Crayola. I have some. I do love that reaction more than anything. It's the truth. 90% of what I do is Crayola colored pencil, and then I have artistic pencils that I do over that. And if I do paint, it's to touch up the whites, just because after a while the pencil just gets dirty on the paper. But it's all paper. It's all just regular paper. And if you look in the picture in the behind, you could see the pencil strokes. That's not brush strokes. That's actual pencil strokes. So I go through probably like 10 packs of Crayola colored pencils a year. And all I have I used to have a box of just like all the spares that nobody ever uses, like pinks and purples and stuff. They never really, not much in the pool world. So no, I came back to it a few years ago and I started doodling again, my daughter, the dog, the sconce on the wall, whatever it was. And I had an idea. And I remember talking to my friend, I'm like, I don't know why I want to draw this, but I need to draw pool balls shaped like eggs, not eggs painted like pool balls. And they all started they were like laughing at me. I'm like, I don't know why I have to do this, but I'm just like compelled. I can't say it any other way. Something is forcing me to do this. And I had this one first for you. I love this because this is like my David Letterman moment.
Wow.
This is the first one I ever drew.
That's
And
amazing.
I was like, I don't know why I need to do this. And it took me like a month. And I was like, I don't know why I need to do this. Um, I need to do this. And my friends were just laughing at me. And they're like, why? I'm like, I had to. I just had to. So once I did that, the ideas started just, and one after another, it's really been 2.5 or 3 years of nonstop production. Um, Once I hit the fountain, I fed off it and fed off it and fed off it and fed off it. And I've never been so driven to do anything in a way that it's just, I can only say it's like, this is, I'm not driving the bus. I can't tell you where my ideas come from. I drive down the road and then pool bowl shaped like eggs. And that's what I got to do. And I go home and I sketch it out and I'll doodle it and I'll do it a couple times in my little sketchbook. So I get the placement and the layouts and all that stuff. That one behind you, I think that one was, as soon as I had the idea, I think I had it done in like 36 hours. It was so clear to me that once I saw that shape, I need to do this. And it was so clear to what I needed to do that it's just, I sit there and I can't stop until it's done.
I think
And that's how it happens.
I get exactly what you mean. Now, look, I want to ask you a question, because if I'm driving along or walking along the street and my pencil or my brushes are my fingers and my mouth, if you like, that's how I make my living. And sometimes a thought just comes into my head, but I have to write it down. I have to put it on a note in my phone or something, because otherwise especially at my age, it just goes,
Oh, I get
So do you do the
it.
same? Do you do a little doodle quickly, or how do you
Yeah,
go about the
yeah,
process?
always, always. I have, I have, um, we're starting to delay. Are we okay?
We're okay, we're good.
Okay. You froze up for a second. You're good? Okay. The process is, okay. The process is when I get the idea, it hits me, it's the thunderbolt. It hits you. I'm always just in a shop, a sketch pad. So sometimes I remember once yelling at my girlfriend, just write down deli slicer. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, just write down the words deli slicer. And I had an idea of a deli slicer and slicing the ball and like doing something
Ah,
like that because I was somebody who was always a good cut player. I could cut shots, and they used to always say, "Oh, the guy cuts like a deli slicer. You're from New York." It's kind of a big thing. So it was a compliment to me. So I always had this idea. So I have 150 ideas stored up, and they're all in. Sometimes I just get the idea in the inception, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Just write down the words and put it in my sketch pad, and I'll take care of it after." But if I take a shower now, I don't get something to write this down. I can't, I'm standing here with a towel. I just need you to write down the words deli slicer so I can think about it and then come back to it. But if I go take my shower, I'll have 150 other thoughts and I'll never remember what the good thought was. So I have sketch pads everywhere. Um, it's just it's a constant flow of ideas. And if I stop thinking today, I would probably have 2 years worth of ideas that I can do. And somebody who I love dearly, who is uber concerned for my well-being because she's afraid somebody's going to take my idea and steal it. I basically say, I dare you, because the idea is not, it's not necessarily something that you can steal. You know what I mean? Like to be able to draw is good, and people can draw things
It's a
probably
title.
better than I can.
It's a title, right?
The idea to be creative is good. Yeah, it's you have to. It's the uniqueness to it that some people do, other people doing it for our community. And I love billiards, and I would rather, at my age now, I find more enjoyment doing this than I do in playing, because I'm still in the mindset of the junkie. I'm still that 18-year-old pool hall junkie who was hanging out to 4 a.m. every night. That's never going to leave me here. Um, but I don't need to actually be out till 4 a.m. every night, to do it. Like, I don't actually need to kind of go through that anymore. I've kind of been there, done that with it. And I love this. I love this way to be in the world that way. And
Do
I think
you
that we deserve something too.
absolutely? And do you still play?
So I want to. I have a 16-year-old girl, and she's awesome. And she's, forgive my dog who's snoring. And she's 16-year-old girl. So I mean, like, she likes to play, and she comes with me, and she practices her little stop shot, and she does her little, she nails a stop shot. She always does like a, yeah, nailed it. Um, but I haven't played like a competitive game in forever because I never needed to play anybody else to enjoy the game. It was about my enjoyment of it. So I never needed to beat you to prove I was better than you. Like, I never cared about that. I just wanted to hit the balls and make them do what I wanted to do and own the perfection of being a perfect pool player. Like, the idea of the competitive angle of pool is completely irrelevant to me. And I get it, and I'm competitive a million different ways. I am the most competitive person you've ever met. Ask my daughter, watch us play Mario Kart. You want to see competitive? Things get thrown. You don't understand. Um, like Mario Kart. Trust me. Um, we also do backgammon. Backgammon games get pretty, names are called.
I'll play.
Names are called. Mark. You want to
I'll
play
play you.
backgammon?
I'll play you at
Play me
backgammon.
online. I'm dying to play backgammon with somebody who's not my daughter. Um, so I'm super, super competitive, but when it comes to billiards, I think I've been around it so much, and I know these people. Like, I always say that in the SPM community, I'm not the guy who follows the pros and goes out, does, like, I'm not that guy anymore. I used to be, so I understand them, but I just love billiards. I just absolutely love billiards. So for me, I don't need to actually play to get that love anymore. So I'm finding just the love of billiards in every other capacity because I'm kind of played out from how much I played back in the day. And it was all APA. I never had any care to go pro, and I was a good APA player. I went to regionals as a single. I went to Vegas on a team, so I was a pretty good player. Nothing phenomenal, never the best, but I never really cared to be the best. I cared to be perfect. I cared to be pristine. I don't. I my only my only goal in playing pool was to be perfect, and I never I never desired the competitive side of it because I always just it was between me, not me and you.
I think that kind of shows through in your art, that perfection. The one, the picture behind me, for example. By the way, did you know there's 14 cue sticks there? Did you know that? You obviously know that, right?
I probably counted at the time, but they're
Symmetrical.
all, yeah, except for this one down on the side. But yeah, I always do a little chaos. I don't like so much symmetrical, so I always do a little chaos. So I knocked one off on the side.
What's your
The
favourite
one on the
game,
bottom
Matthew?
line.
What's your favourite game?
I I I'm very classic, so I always go back to eight.
I'm
What
sorry,
I still like the old eight ball,
eight ball.
eight ball. Um, I like nine ball. Um, we used to play so many stupid junk games, gambling games. Um, like for us, again, it was whatever we were playing that month. Like we would always go through. We were at a pool hall where the junkies were always there was 20 to 30 junkies at any given time. So we were this little inner community, and we would go through cycles where all we play is nine ball, all we play is Chicago. I don't know if you ever played Chicago, some
I've heard
stupid
of it.
gambling
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
And that's like all we'd play for like, yeah, we play something like three ball for like, 6 months. And for 6 months, all we played was three ball. Um, golf, I tell you, the night played right with a stack of, singles on top of the bottle. We played games like that so much that we only played real competitive when it came to league night. We were all just, it was league night. We had to go play. So that was eight ball night or nine ball night or whatever it was. But um, we lived there more, and we spent time there playing cards, or we spent time there just hanging out with friends. It was just this. It was more of a pool hall junkie community, so the games that we played were just all over the place. But for me personally, I think I've always been the best eight ball player because I like the control of finding the pattern,
Uh huh.
seeing the logical way to through. Um, in my personal, in my work, I'm a email marketer, so I do a lot of logic based stuff. I do a lot of coding and efficiency, and um, I find that best in eight ball.
I think eight ball, it appeals to me more than any other game simply because there's creativity involved in it, and you have to find these little ways of, it. Nine ball for me is very very simple. It's a pattern you have to follow. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, there's different ways you can get on the balls. Not really many clusters you get in nine ball, but of course with eight ball, 15 balls on the table, lots of little manoeuvring and little clipping balls out here and there, and I find that very very creative. I just saw an interview with Shane Van Boning actually, who said, he just loves the game of eight
I
ball.
love that when I saw that. I saw that. So for me, I think that eight ball also provides another layer of defensive play that when I was in bar league players hated defensive play. And I couldn't care less about if you didn't like me because I played a safety on you. I'd lock you up if I'd lock you up. If that was the way to play, I could tell you can't bang. You definitely can't kick. I'm going to lock you up as much as I can. I'm going to win the game. So, we put down 10 defensive shots on you tonight. Okay, good. I put down 10 defensive shots for me tonight. Did I kick your ass? Yes, I kicked your ass. I'm okay with it. That's how we got there. So I'm more than happy to sell out my run if I'm not 100% sure I'm going to get there in eight ball because I know if I'm on the table, I always have that in my back pocket as an escape route, and I'm not afraid to pull my parachute.
You are
I'm not going to try a hero shot. I'm going to lock you up and you're not going to see, and you're going to be full in hand. And I'll just run it out then. Like, I'm totally okay with that. So I like that in eight ball way, way more. And that's a huge part of my game.
you're super competitive. I can hear that. I can see it in your face when you
See
when
that,
you
that,
when you talk about it.
yeah. So my friends try to get me to play golf. And I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm going anywhere near a golf course because I know the second I catch the bug, that's going to be my new thing, and I got to obsess over it. I can't do it. So I limit my obsessions because I get OCD on them, and that's what happened with the art. Like all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I can do this. And once I was able to do it, it's like that's when the ideas really started exploding. So I definitely have an addictive personality when it comes to stuff like that. And I won't go near golf just because I can't I can't give up the next 20 years of my life to
So
being a bad golfer.
before we get back to talking about your art, which is the main reason you're here, of course, I just want to get your thoughts and serious thoughts as well on the Moscone Cup. There's
Sure.
no European American angle here. I'm just curious to know your thoughts on the Moscone, whether you thought it was a good idea getting Fedor in, and to further that question, do you think maybe the US should look at maybe trying to coax Jason Shaw over to the American side? Not that I think it would ever happen. Or maybe Roberto Gomez. Or how about a woman? I mean, Alison Fisher is a resident there. She's been there since 1994, I believe. She actually played in the first ever Moscone Cup along with Vivian Villarreal.
I,
And
I love her.
sorry, with Franziska Stark, it was Vivian Villarreal was with Jeanette Lee, of course, on the American side. So I'd just like to get your thoughts on the Moscone that's just finished, how you thought it went. Are you
I
a
mean,
Federer fan, and what should they do for the future?
I'm a Federer fan in general, and I don't. It's not fair to put this on him. I don't think in any way. It's this has been going on um, in other sports for 20 or 30 years minimum. Um, Professional basketball players in the Olympics. This is not anything new. There shouldn't be any sort of unique exceptions. If they pass the qualifying rules, they pass qualifying rules. Um,
Well,
so I don't think.
hold on. He only passed the qualification rules because Matchroom did a change in the rules on October the 1st. So let's just get that point straight. The rules were different up until Matchroom changed the rules.
Did he ask them to make the rules?
That I don't know.
So to me, that's match to me, that's match. So I'm a fan of good competition, and again, I mean, I don't, I just want to see a good game. It's not like Federer helped them, make that an even or more even match. I don't think that that's the problem from what happened from my perspective. If you want to focus on that, then that's definitely something to be considered now for the future. But let's talk about it now instead of doing it last minute. I'm totally okay with that. But at the same time, I don't think that that was the source of the problem in any way, shape, or form. I think I read somebody's comment where the USA was not team. They were not playing as one. They were not. Um, they were less congealed than the Europeans were, and with the Europeans had playing together for so much longer, they had an advantage that way. The the rankings were definitely the rankings, but if you want a USA versus a Europe competition, then you have to take the people from the USA, no matter what the qualifications are or when they set them. That's what the qualifications are.
If they live there,
So if you
yeah.
want better players, and this is
Hold
the
on,
same as if we were talking about soccer in the World Cup.
hold on. Are you saying pick players that are living there, or pick American players?
So it's getting, in my opinion, a lot of people have dual citizenships and multi citizenships, and I'm not somebody who thinks that we should be picking people based on their citizenship. Oh wait, let me say this differently because that was about to come out. You need to make qualifications first. Okay. If they change the rules late, that's on them. And frankly, if they didn't, Fedor on the other team would have made that a complete wipeout. I think that it leveled the playing field. I'm not sure I agree with why they did it, but they did it, and he qualified based on the qualifications. I don't believe he was involved in making them or asking them to make that change. I'm simply saying that set the qualifications in a fair way, and from the pool of people that qualify, take the best people available. If that's boy or girl, I don't care about that. Allison Fisher, I love to have Allison Fisher on our side. I know she's been an American for 20 years. I've been watching her on ESPN for 20 years. Um, she has dual citizenship. Should she play for the US versus Europe? I'm not Allison Fisher. I'm not going to say who she should play for, but she should qualify for both. That's up to her. But what I'm saying is make the qualifications standard, and then from that pool, pick the best possible players. If the Americans are under skilled in comparison to the Europeans, just like if it was the Ryder Cup, or just like if it was the World Cup in soccer, just like if it was whatever US versus the world competition it is,
Mhm.
if we need to get better, then we need to get better to make this a better competition. I don't like manipulating the rules to make it a better competition, but there's been a lot of talk about the Moscone Cup this year, so it got a lot of attention, and it was still a blowout, and we did. I don't know. I don't know what else to say, Mark. It's kind of like I'm so glad I am not making those decisions, but the reality is I don't. I I more view for the benefit of it. I'm not going to sit there and they should do this or they should do that. It's not necessarily my way of going about things. I enjoy the product they put out for the product they put out. Just like I'm watching your old videos on Billiard TV today. Um, you know what I mean? Like to me, it's like I just love to watch the game. So I'm not really caring about the why they got there, how they got there. I'm not. I moderate the chat in SPM, but I don't necessarily throw the opinions in a direction. I just initiate the conversations because I like to have the people chatting about it. And there was a lot of chat about this. So I see a lot of perspectives. Um,
What
I'm
was
not
the
necessarily trying to move.
what was the consensus? Do you think? What was the main thing? Look, if you ask me, I think 11-3.
We were undermanned.
Hold on one sec. I think 11-3 was a ridiculous score. I don't think it was a true showing of the two sides. I
No,
don't think so. I don't think the level is that different between the two teams. I think the big difference is, and I don't I don't think you'll find another team in the world that could gel and be as fearsome and have as much fun as the European team. They're genuinely friends. They're all, you see them hanging out at the tournaments all the time together. And Jason Shaw is such a team leader. I really don't believe Ralph Eckhart had anything to do in that tournament. I think Jason Shaw took it all upon his shoulders. And I'm sure Ralph just said, look, guys, I can't teach. If it's not broke, I'm not going to fix it. You've got the perfect attitude. And I honestly believe if that 9 ball and that 7 ball goes in for Shane Van Boening in his first match, then I believe the whole thing is different. I think it's the way the Americans reacted to that first day defeat, because even day one 4-0, it's not the end of the world. It's a race to 11, right?
no,
They've only got to come
no.
out and win the next couple of matches, right? And then all of a sudden it's 4-2 and it's game on, but they just didn't. And I
But
question Jeremy Jones here. I really do. I think he's a brilliant commentator. I think his head is filled with more knowledge than anyone else on the planet regarding patterns and how to play the game. But I don't see him as a leader. I really don't.
so okay, that's a completely fair point. But I think that you almost answered your own question at the same time. The it's I think there's two issues. First of all, if the European team was gelled together that well, what could have beat them? At the same time, I mean, like, what team of all stars could you have pulled together to to beat a team that's gelled that well? It's you have people who aren't used to playing it. First of all, billiards is not a team game naturally. So to have people come together in a team, sometimes the teams don't gel that fast, and you need to do that work and put the time in to kind of get to know each other. Who should play when, and how should we play, and those types of things. So I could see that too. At the same time, not everybody's a team leader. Sometimes you know that's a tough talk.
Well,
And it's a hard it's again, you see it in the other sports too. You see somebody who's a great player, go over to a coach or manager spot, and it's not their thing. It's really easy to be that guy, but it's not easy to you know
so to close out part one, because we need to have a little bit of a word from our sponsors. They pay for all of this, of course. I think to sum up, I'll be there. Be very surprised if we still see Jeremy Jones in charge of Team USA next year.
I don't know those. Honestly, I don't. Again, I don't follow to those levels. I don't. I work for SPM as sales and marketing.
Okay,
So
we got to go. We got to go. We'll be back in part two, and we're going to talk more about your beautiful art. This stuff behind me. We'll be back soon, guys, with the rest of this fascinating interview here with Matthew. See you soon, guys, in part two. Hi guys, and welcome back to part two. I'm here with pool ball artist Matthew Necroto. Hi Matthew, how you doing, mate? Good to see you again.
I'm well. Thank you so much.
So we talked about your interest in pool in general in the game, and we spoke a little bit
Mhm.
about the Moscone and that, just for a little bit of fun. Now look, I read a figure somewhere that there's 3.1 million league players or pool players in the States alone. Now that's a lot of pool fanatics. Now we know they all love their t-shirts and the patches and the badges and pool art, of course. You're bringing that to the fore as well. Key rings, and around Christmas a lot of people are looking to, I don't know, buy some little stocking fillers, or have you got that kind of merchandise ready for this Christmas?
I do. So thank you for asking. One of On my store you can find, we have Christmas ornaments. This came from an idea. Again, my mother's been buying me little pool Christmas ornaments and tchotchkes and these little things for forever. And you know, I, I, there's just a market for it. We just love pool players love pool, and it's a brilliant lifestyle. And those who identify it with it, they bleed it. It's not something that people dabble in. It's your thing or it's not your thing. So we have Christmas ornaments. My art works on some Christmas ornaments really, really well, and you can hang them on your tree. Also, we have wrapping paper if you want to wrap a gift for your favorite pool player. And Into 2024, we have a 2024 calendar where you can get every month you could flip and see a new photo with a big wall calendar that you can watch all year. So things like that are available in my holiday store currently. There's also things like Sherpa blankets and good winter items and things like that that might be good for your favorite pool fan.
Sounds
But
amazing.
that's not all I sell.
I love the thought of that calendar, where you could even put all the big tournaments for sure, all the Predator tournaments down on, and all the Matchroom tournaments,
The,
the Derby City, of course, the US Open, all the big tournaments. Get them all on the calendar.
I the idea was given to us through the producer, through the company that creates them, and they didn't make it available until I think it was the first week of December. So I didn't get a lot of time to design and play. But now that I know that this is something I can do, the 2025 calendar will be perfect. But the 2024 calendar, it's the date side is all preset by the machine. So we can't set that side. We can only do the pretty side up top. So, but yes, that will happen.
Excellent. Now, you don't just, I mean, the first thing I heard about you, it was through SPM, through Sneaky Pete Mafia media that I became aware of you, of course. And first thing I did, I always go on a person's profile. Now, what's this picture about? This gorilla? Why do you have a gorilla? Because if I'm going to friend somebody, I look for some pool related photo, and if it's got pool in it, then I'm straight in. Yes, respond, confirm friendship. Right. Most of my friends on Facebook are because of pool. So what's this? I wouldn't call it an obsession, but what's this interest in gorillas?
It's it's not necessarily gorilla. Like I said, I'm not. Hold on, I got it right here. It's
I love this.
so he's leaning on an 8 ball,
Oh, it's a chimpanzee, right?
and I call it ape ball.
Ape ball.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. Oh, I love a pun. I do
So
love a
this
pun.
is all my stuff has puns in it. This is actually an all pen piece. This is done with a Bic pen.
Wow. How many big pens did that take?
That was about three.
How many?
Uh, Three.
Three big. Oh, is that all? Oh, that's
Yeah.
surprising.
Yeah. So that's just Bic pen. So when I did this one, um, again, it's the same billiard challenge to myself. And when I pulled it off, that was the first time I believed I could do it. And that's why he means so much to me. So he is on my hooded sweatshirt that's right there. The hooded sweatshirt that I wear every day is got this picture on it. I had it hanging outside my door, my bedroom door. This to me is the proof I made it to myself. You know, the proof I actually did it. I finally got there. I know I'm good now. Um, you could ask people who know me, and they'll say, I was the last person to believe I was an artist. I didn't really think of myself as an artist until literally this year, 2023. And people are like, no, like you can call yourself that. It was not easy for me to accept. I always thought it was too pretentious to call yourself an artist. Like, who are you to call yourself an artist? Um, it's not my style. I'm not about flashing, glamoring, and all that stuff. It's not really me. But when I did this, I look at it every day just to remind myself that yes, I did. That's my trophy. This is
That's
my Moscone Cup.
that's interesting, and it really is a great picture, and it's just made even more sense to me because I didn't know it was called ape ball before. Have you heard? There's a great artist, actually a street artist, a graffiti artist, I suppose you'd call
I
him.
know exactly what you're talking about.
You know
Yes.
Banksy, right?
Yes. I love Banksy.
So you're like the Banksy of pool, of the pool world. You're Banks Paul. You're Banks Paul. That's exactly what you are.
I'll take that too. I always thought when I was joking around with my friends, like I said, I probably did two or three of them before I really even started telling people I was doing them. It was never about showing off. It was never about impressing people. Um, and it was when people started going, whoa, like you did that? You know, like somebody goes, that looks like a photograph. I'm like, thank you. Like, I appreciate that. I always said that I could be like the Ed Hardy of pool, just because there's no Ed Hardy of pool. Like there's nobody's doing this stuff. Nobody, like I said, nobody cares about us. Nobody does this stuff. And with that, um, it really gives me no handcuffs at all. So when I did the ape stuff, it's because I like, well, first of all, I always like who doesn't like monkeys? Let's be real.
Me,
Everybody likes monkeys.
everyone.
Um, I love monkeys. Always did, always will. But a lot of my stuff is animals. But what I do is I seek it in nature. So if I see something, everything in billiards is primary shapes, triangles, circles. Even the stick is just a straight line. These are basic shapes that are used everywhere. So when you see the triangle in nature, it builds itself for me. When you see the circle in nature, it makes sense to me to build that out because that's the filter I just see the world through now. So I do different things for different reasons, and I love nature because it makes you see pool in nature. So when I do the giraffe with the colors on it, it's not necessarily directly pool, but then you go, oh, it's the colors of the giraffe. It's the colors of pool, yellow, blue, red, and you go through it that way. It makes sense. The one I did that's the abstract, the
Yeah, I know which one
it's
you're
it's
gonna.
easy to show.
I nearly
So
I nearly chose this one for my background. I think it's the one you're going to show me now. The ones with all the
really,
rectangles. Yeah, this one. That's the one I was going to choose for my background in the first
so
place.
this is a one pocket key. This is a cue ball,
Right.
and if he follows it up, he could play it out however he wants to. This is a ball. This is a ball. This is a ball. So if he banks that, he could run out the one pocket. So I had
That's
friends like there's never any one pocket stuff. And another friend said, hey, you should copy Piet Mondrian's style. And sooner or later, those two ideas come together, and not everybody's going to see the pool game in there. But once you see it in there, you can't unsee it. And then it's like it makes the whole image not just cool as an art piece, but special to the real billiard player who loves the story being told in squares.
I tell you, I've got a customer for you for that. And I know he's got lots of money at the moment because he's just come back from doing the Moscone Cup for Matchroom. Scott Frost, I've had the pleasure of commentating with him recently on some. Uh, I tried to do some one pocket but couldn't because I didn't really know enough about it. But we did some 9 ball on some recordings from the Derby City Classic. And that is the kind of thing you want to hit up Scott Frost, or I'm going to send him that. I'm going to send him that. If you send me that on my messenger, I'll send that to Scott Frost and tell him
Okay, Mark.
I know an artist who's painted this and it's a one pocket. You need to spend some of that money that Emily Fraser's just given you and give it to Matthew Necroto because he's producing some brilliant stuff and you really, really are. I just wondered, have you ever thought of going to have you ever had an art exhibition or have you ever had a booth at a big
No,
tournament or
this
something
is
like that?
this is all I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm honestly so new to this that, being an artist is great. That's a job. Being a marketer for an artist, building the website, getting the storefront, building the store, having the products, that's a whole second job. I know that there's a future here, but I'm really just trying to figure it out. I'm at the point where I'm just getting up every day, trying to figure out what's next and how to make it grow because that's where I'm at with it. I have about 80, 90 designs. Of those, 20 or 30 of them are pretty good for their own, they might have their own little niche inside. Um, that circle where if you're a pool player and you're also,
Show me
hold
some
on,
more. I want to see some more. Show me some more.
okay, let me do it this way. This was the one I did before 8 ball, and it gets a little less family friendly. So if the kids are there, you might want to just cover their eyes for a quick second. Trust me, it's not too scary.
I'm
There's a
not going to
reason.
look. I'm not going to look.
There's a
I'll have a
reason
little
for it,
look.
Mark. Trust
Okay.
me. Okay, so I call this one King of Pain. Okay, so it's a nice, beautiful skull. Again, just like the ape, all black, big pen.
I
Okay,
see something else, though. I see something else in there.
see, that's the secret. Is most people don't see it right away until you get kind of close.
Wow. Look at that.
Okay,
Is that the Reaper?
that's the Reaper.
And he's
And
got a
if you
cue in
get,
his hand. What cue does he use?
he's screwing it together.
Oh, brilliant. Who's next? Amazing.
So this is another one I'm extremely proud of. I'm not necessarily a skull guy, so I'm not going to have like a lot of skull stuff in my portfolio. If you're a skull guy, I'm not going to really be your guy. But I love the hidden image, and I couldn't be more happy with how it came out. And especially if you get down to it, you could actually see the threads of the screw.
Wow. What make is it? Has he got to make that cue or not?
No, no,
I'm
no,
just being
no.
stupid, of course.
No, 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 no. I tend to. I have a lot of friends here. You got to understand. Working for SBM, I got a lot of cube maker friends. But here's one of my cube maker friends.
What's that? A
N-
drawing?
Jo,
Is
Jerry
that?
Olivier.
Yeah, Olivier. They sponsor the. They do a lot of sponsorship for the Derby City Classic. I have to mention them when we're doing the commentary on the Derby City.
I have been kissing Jerry Olivier's butt ever since the day I've seen his work. And I've been offering my free services to Lori to sweep her floor for as long as she wants my big ass around. Um, so no, that's really good. This one's another one that I think is definitely one of my more preferred. This can be directed any way. So I call it Sticks and Stones. This is one that's on the wrapping paper. It's
I
just a whole bunch of little sticks and balls and just in a nice little abstract piece.
I
I think
definitely
the
have that.
abstract I think the abstract art using the pool is a lot of what I'll be doing more.
It
It
would look
gets
great in a pool room, in someone's pool
Yeah.
room. It would look fabulous. Really would. I really like that.
Um,
So what's next
this
for
one,
what's next for you, Matthew? What's the plan going forward? You must obviously have a plan. You've got some stuff that
I took a
you
look.
want to aim for, some goals you've set.
Yeah, I took a little break. I needed to just take a step away. I'm a big fan of just knowing when it's time to when you're feeling burnt out and getting getting a reboot. So I'll probably be not drawing for another week or two, and then just pick it up. I'm starting to do more large canvas prints. So if you're interested in having any one of these and something as big as like a 36 by 48, I could have that custom made for you. So those types of services are always available. I'm always open for a commission if somebody needs a commission. Um, like I said, people throw me ideas all the time. Like, the friend's like, "Oh, you got nothing one pocket? Okay, well, I'll get you something. You want something one pocket? I'll get you something one pocket." So I'm always up for inspiration. Stuff like that. I am just trying to get through today and not looking stupid. That's really pretty much my plan every day.
Right, I'm gonna look stupid now. I'm gonna test something out. You're gonna tell me now if I'm artistic in any way whatsoever. Right.
Everybody is.
I just had this vision come into my head when you were talking about one pocket. There's a guy stood by a pool table, only waist down, and he's got like the chino trousers, you know, with the pockets on the side. And out of one, and in stuck in one pocket, you can see is just a pool ball.
One pocket.
One pocket.
So this is the funniest thing because you know you're famous when, right? You know you got a good idea when. And I always thought of who's the comedian that they have that same like setup line, and then the punchline is always, my wife always does this. Ba, 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 ba. Everybody comes to me with an idea, and yes, of course. So that's awesome. I love that stuff because I don't know how to explain it. I know I have a good idea because everybody says, "Oh, what would make that really cool is if you did it." Blah, 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 blah. So I had a friend come to me and she goes, "You should do a cat." I'm like, "I hate cats. What do you want?" "I don't want to draw cats. I'm not a
I
cat
just
person."
saw a cat behind
I
you.
know that was what it came from. I never had planned to draw a cat. I had zero interest in drawing cats. I am not a cat person. And like I said, 2 or 3 days later, boom, cat idea, yarn balls. Of course, the yarn balls. It makes sense.
Yes,
It works.
of
Of course, it
course.
works. So
Cat
because
playing
it
pool.
works,
Yeah.
cat, so I mean, like that's kind of like it works. It's like, and you can't deny it. Like I said, when you get the idea, you're like, oh, now I got to go draw a cat. Like, and it's like I never wanted to draw a cat, but like people
People
come to me
love
with these
cats.
ideas. Of
Everyone loves
course, and
cats.
that was literally, and just like monkeys, that was literally what she had said to me. She goes, "Everybody loves cats." So I was like, "Fine, I'll draw cats." And that's how the ideas become. That's how we get to the stuff that I showed you. Was it's not people influence me now. People inspire me all the
Yeah,
time
yeah.
now. So I get these ideas and people come to me, and man, I mean, it's awesome to see that I'm actually inspiring people. I've had people try to draw some of my stuff and like, hey, I took your drawing and I thought it would look cool if, and it's the weirdest kind of oddest celebrity that anybody could have ever imagined. And it's like I'm honored to kind of be this person, like it's just really cool to have people respond to something that you didn't ever think that anybody else would know about. Like if nobody else ever knew about any of this stuff, I would be just as happy. But it was other people telling me, no, go get this out there. So going to shows and art shows and stuff, again, I thought it was pretentious. The idea of this, the idea that you even suggest this is laughable to me because that means that you think I could actually sell art at an art festival. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's like that's the justification that I never had before. So I never thought that people would actually respond to this. Like that whole idea is foreign to me. So I'm sure I'll be doing more. Um, it's new and I'm trying to fit in this new skin, but
Trust
I think
me.
I'm getting there.
Trust me, you are. I mean, I'm no art critic, but I know what I like. And the stuff that you do, especially for our industry, it really hits the spot because okay, we all love Paul, but we also love lots of other things like monkeys and cats and
And the
art
Beatles
and the
and the
beat.
beat, like I do a
Oh,
lot of like the cover stuff, like I like to do like music stuff, and as long as it works, but like my friend uh Eric Eric Naretto, who's one of our writers, PBIA master instructor, he bought something for his pool room, and it's like that like touches my heart, man. And he bought the Beatles one. So when I get that, it really means a lot because again, it's not like I thought anybody else would ever see it. I don't know how to explain that. I'm almost like shy and embarrassed.
I know exactly what you mean on a different subject, people come to me when I see people out and they say, "Oh, I heard your commentary and I love it," and they keep messaging me and sending me all these questions. They all of a sudden. I mean, I've been in commentary for about 4 years now. That's all.
I
And
like your puns, by the way. Don't anybody ever let you take your puns away because your puns make those commentary. I'm telling you, your matches are always better because you get along with the other person every single time. It's never like this competitive, like trying to be
nah,
the best person. Like you just make a fun commentary. And trust me, your puns, don't change your puns. That's what makes you you.
thank you.
You get
So I've got apparently I've got a really nice voice that the Americans like, and I've got good puns. My knowledge of Pool is pretty low. I'm
we
like,
don't need we we have a low standard there. Again, we just got our asses kicked by the Europeans. You got the accent right. We're gonna listen to what you say.
so look, we've talked extensively about your art, and I really, really want to see more. And I'm sure people watching this want to see more and more of it, and they want to know where they can buy it. So if you can just tell us all your info of how people can contact you, your website, Instagram, Facebook, any way they can get to look at all this great stuff you're producing, because that needs to get out there. People need to see it, and it needs to be on their walls.
I agree. I agree. So for Mark's benefit, let's do this. Well, first, if you want to see my entire gallery, like I said, there's like 90 of them. Some of them are music related, some of them are animal related, some of them are like a live action perspective of a shot that you've taken before. Like some of my break shots are just racks, and, realistic table shots. There's a bunch of different styles, so it's hard to fit them all into even 1 hour if I just sat here and flipped them all. So the best way to see everything is on Instagram. And on Instagram, most of the times for most of my pictures, I did progression shots. So if you want to see it from the outline in pencil to the different layers of how it came in, everything is done in pencil, pencil or pen, black pen. Um, so if you want to see the entire gallery, how they are made, the progressions of them, go to Instagram. And it's Pool Ball Art, all one word, PoolBallArt. Pool Ball Art.
Brilliant.
Um, if as Mark said, go till you find the big monkey face. If you want to communicate with us, if you want to go back and read some of the stories and see some of the things that we've done, Facebook is good for that too, because then you'll get more of a conversation. A lot of people comment on the stuff there and they'll go back and forth and that stuff. So Facebook's always a good thing. Please follow me on Facebook and Instagram. You'll get new stuff. I probably do regularly 2 to 3 a month. And I can never tell you what's coming next or what it is. But if you want to talk, if you want to inspire, if you want to reach out and find a large print, that's the best way. Just contact me through one of those, and we'll set you up with a large print as big as you want it, and I'll have it custom made right next door to you to save us both on shipping and stuff. Um, my website is poolballart.com. There you can also find shirts, hoodies, blankets, wall art, pretty much everything. Phone cases. Um,
Wow.
if you can put art on it, we have a product for you. There's probably a good 300 or 400 products on there now. It's everything from stickers to just posters, canvases. The canvases on my store are up to 36 inches, so I don't have anything large on there, but you can get something smaller on there and have it shipped to you, usually shipped within a week. But lots of t-shirts, lots of hoodies, things of that nature as well.
So I want some. So I'm on your site now. I'm looking through. I want to get some baubles from a Christmas tree. I want to get some wrapping paper to wrap a last minute present in, how quick can you deliver? If somebody like orders some baubles now, will they be there in time for Christmas to decorate their tree with?
So it depends on what you buy because every product is sent from a different distributor. It's called print on demand, and I'm not necessarily in control of that. I would say sooner is better. When it comes to this past week, things have been getting out into delivery in usually 2 to 3 days. So we're cutting it close at this point. But I would believe you're still in time for at least Christmas or maybe like a promise day after Christmas. I swear, I swear, I swear this was a gift I purchased this
Brilliant.
week. You know,
I've just
just do a little
had,
picture, just take a little picture of it and then put it in the stocking. And then you can actually, the next day they'll unwrap their,
brilliant.
36-inch print.
Brilliant. I've just had another idea for a pool
Shoot.
picture.
Uh-oh.
And I think you should do this one for David Al-Qadi. It's his birthday today, actually, David Al-Qadi. He's 45 today. I did a little one of my raps for him, a little rappy birthday I did for David. It's his birthday today. I think you should do a little picture for him of that 7 ball. Did you see the 7 ball that popped back out the pocket? I'm seeing that 7 ball on a spring that goes into the pocket and springs back out again.
How about this? I'll not only do it for you, I'll sign it and I'll send it to him on your behalf. Just
Brilliant.
honestly, I'm actually literally happy to do that. And it's actually a really, really cool idea. Um, I love it. Remind me of this after we circle back because I don't want to, because again, I'll forget it. And I bring my sketchbook to this meeting, sir.
Honey, write down David Al-Qadi, spring.
That's it. That's it. So what does that mean? Shush. Just write it down.
So one last time, give us your website where everyone can go. And it's just such a pleasure to have spoken to such a talented guy. I mean, I'm really surprised. I really love all the artwork that you've shown. Keep them ideas coming. Please, please keep them ideas coming. But enjoy your time off. I know you're going to come back fresh. And those big pens, you're going to be using hundreds of them big pens, I think, in the future. So give us your website again and any other people you'd like to thank just to close it out for us.
PoolBallArt.com. That's where you can get all my stuff. Again, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. You'll get my regular updates. The people I want to thank is honestly SPM and you. SPM has been awesome. I've met so many people through SPM, through the community. A lot of these people I've spoken to for the past 6 months, meeting the most important people in all of billiards. I'm happy to finally put a face to my name, get to know me a little bit as a person because I hound these people on the phones all the time. I'm sorry, it's my job. I apologize. So thank you for tolerating me. Garrett has been just an awesome person to work with. We've gotten so much done this summer. SPM has taken a world of change. If you haven't checked out SPM magazine in the past few months, check it out. We're doing so well right now. The magazine looks amazing. It's a huge 80-page magazine filled with nothing but great, cool information. So definitely thank Garrett and Kat, Mark White, Mr. White. I don't know if you know this. I always call you Mr. White because I'm a Quentin Tarantino fan. And to me, there's no bigger compliment in the world than to be called Mr. White. Okay, that's like the ultimate compliment in my world.
Do you know, I get told I look like two people, and it's either Quentin Tarantino, when my hair's a little bit different. I don't know. I think I've got the same chin as him or something like that.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't know.
close. I see it.
Or somebody come up to me once and said, "Oh, you look just like Rob." I thought they said Robbie Williams, the singer. I don't know whether you know him or not. He's an English singer, but he lives over in LA now. But very famous singer. Really, all the girls love him. And I thought, oh yeah. I said, what's your favourite song of his? They said, no, the actor Robin Williams. I was distraught.
The compliment plummeted.
Absolutely.
Like it meant just as well, but went down.
Let's end on that low note. Thank you so much, Matthew Necroto, for joining me. Thanks, guys, for watching. Who are we going to have next? I don't know. It's going to be somebody interesting, though, that's for sure. Thank you so much for watching, and keep playing those balls. Keep cueing smooth and straight. Have Merry Christmas, everyone. See you soon.
Bye-bye. Thank you.